unspoken trauma, the untamed wood.
I'm fucked up in the head. If you can't let me just say it. I came from sleeping on the floor. I'd rather sleep in the bed. I keep my pistol real close. Bitch, I'm cautious, I ain't scared. I'm dealing with paranoia, so all I see is red. I'm fucked up in the head, in the head, in the head. I'm fucked up in the head, in the head, in the head.
Alright, what up though, y'all? It's your boy Bill, back with another story time. For those of you who know me, for those of you who don't know me, who might be new here for the first time, my name Bill. I just got out of prison about 11, 12 days ago. I just did 9 years. While I was in prison, I've always had like a passion for comedy, for making people laugh and stuff. So I got on TikTok and just started making little jokes, little skits, and went viral on there. But I'm out now, free at last after 9 years, and I'm doing prison stories. So the title is Just What You See, about when somebody got raped at a prison I was at. Now, before I go into that, I must say, I did not witness it with my own two eyes, but I witnessed it with my ears, and I explain all that and get into that later on. Before I jump straight into that, I did receive a whole bunch of comments about, like, questions about stuff like that. Do people really get raped in prison? And just all kind of things on that subject. So I'll address the few that I feel like was asked by multiple different people. Number one, do people really get raped in prison? Now, the real answer to that question is yes. I know a lot of people say, man, that stuff don't happen no more because there's too many homosexuals in there for people to try to, do something like that. That's not true at all. Now, what I can say about it is it doesn't happen as often as maybe it did in the 80s and in the 90s. I know for a fact they had a prison that is now a women's prison. It's called Alto. And I'm not sure the exact reasons they tore it down. I mean, not tore it down, but I'm not sure why they moved it from a male facility to a female facility. Some people say because so many people was getting raped, they couldn't keep up with it. But to me, that kind of don't make sense, because if they wanted to just gang up and do it again at any other prison, they would. It wouldn't matter the specific prison. So I don't know why it went from male to female. But I do know from hearing multiple stories over and over and over and over the years that there's one specific prison called Alto. It was groups, like gangs of people. They get deep together, and that's just what they did to people that came in, people that was new. They said they specifically targeted light-skinned people, and the dark-skinned people was kind of like spared a little bit. They didn't really mess with them. But from all the stories over the years I've been hearing is like, when you went to this prison called Alto, it was like basically, you know how they got the saying where they say get down or lay down? It's basically like that, like they saying, either you finna let us do this, either we finna do this to you, or you finna help us do this to other people. Which one? And they say like, that was the option people was giving you. Now, I don't know, but I know a lot of people that was there told me that part is very, very, very true. So that's crazy. I just thank the Most High I didn't come in prison during a time like that, because I know somebody would have died. Either it'd have been me or one of them, because you're not about to make me do nothing, and you definitely not about to make me go do something. That's just crazy. But back to the subject. Yes, people do get raped in prison. Now, like I said, it's not as often. Like, I was in there like 9 years, and I think I've probably heard of a rape about 4 or 5 times out of 9 years. So, what was another question? Well, it wasn't a question. It was more so like a comment where they were saying it's so many homosexuals in there, that people get raped. Hey, listen, man. Listen, if that was true, okay, this is how I can prove to you real quick and real easy that that's not true. That so many people willingly living like that in there that they shouldn't have to do that. The reason that's not true is because that's just like me saying, oh, it's so many females out here on the streets that ain't nobody gonna rape nobody and catch no rape charge. It's so many females that like men and men that like women. Ain't no man gonna catch no rape charge, but guess what? It happens every day. Niggas still out here raping females, and there's a million females that like niggas. So that means nothing. Now, the very first time I ever heard about it or anything, the reason I say I witnessed it is because of the proximity, how close the rooms were together. You see what I'm saying? Now it's like, all right, and in the back of every cell is a vent. It's a long vent. However long your wall is, there's a vent on the wall. It's probably about this high, and at the top of it, it got a whole bunch of holes in it, and it stretches out to the length of the wall. From one wall to one wall, the vent is touching it. Now you got two cells in the room on each side. You got a room on your right, you got a room on your left. And you can actually talk to people through the vent. You can hear loud and clear what's going on in the room next door if you just listen in the vent. And sometimes you get closer. That's if you like talking to your homeboy or something, like if we in the hole or we on lockdown and I'm trying to talk to the dude in the room next to me, I could just lay in my bed and yell from the bed, but I'm gonna have to be struggling to listen. But if you go up to the vent, it sounds so loud, like a person right there in your face. But if you're making a lot of noise in your room and the other person in his room is in his bed minding his business, he'll hear you loud and clear, because the vent is just so close. But if y'all trying to have just a normal tone conversation, yeah, you're going to have to walk up to the vent and hear what's going on. But it's very, very close. You hear your neighbors all day talking through the vent. So it was these guys in the dorm. They was actually roommates, and they used to always get into it all the time. They stayed arguing. And their arguments wasn't like something amongst themselves that we didn't really know about. It was like loud, crazy type arguments. Like they get mad, like when they get mad at each other, they go to talking reckless to each other, calling each other bitch ass nigga, pussy ass nigga. One nigga told him somebody's mama, just something crazy. And I'm like, damn, bro, these people be really talking crazy to each other. Now, I feel like the biggest red flag in that whole sense was one of the guys was like, man, probably like 5'4", 5'5". He was a real short little dude. The other dude, I'm 5'11". He had me by a couple inches. He had to be every bit of 6'3". And he worked out every day. He was cut up, muscles everywhere, tatted up everywhere. And they stayed arguing. They so-called themselves got to fighting one day. And the big dude was laughing because the little dude came out the room talking crazy. Whoop, 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 whoop. He was laughing and stuff. And it just was kind of weird. It just kind of didn't sit right with me. Now, this is a reason why I feel like people shouldn't play what they call fuck games. Now, they got some in prison. Now, I'm not speaking for every prison because I know lingo be different, but they got some in the Georgia prison, what they call fuck games. And what that basically means is they play games as if they're gay, but appearing like they're not like that for real. So it'll be a heterosexual looking person, a normal looking person, and he might be talking to his homeboy, and they might be joking around and playing, and then he might be like, well, that ass looking fat. And then they'll laugh, boy, you gay as fuck. Nah, boy, you gay as fuck. And they call it the fuck games. And you know, that's another thing you got to be real, very, very, very cautious about. To certain doors, you just don't open certain doors. If you're not interested in this going somewhere that could make you uncomfortable, the easiest thing to do, nip it in the bud from the dribble. You know what I'm saying? Don't even play no. I think probably my second year in, once I learned everything, it was a dude I was cool with. I'm trying to remember exactly what did he say. He said something. He said something crazy. It wasn't nothing too crazy, but it was crazy because I see where it was trying to go. But I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said something on the lines of like you might just say anything. Like you might be like, I'm gonna just give you an example. You might say some shit like, hell yeah, boy, I was brushing my teeth, goddamn swallowed some of the toothpaste. And if it's somebody that play those type of games with you, when you say the word swallow, they might be like, boy, what the fuck, boy, you gay as hell. And they'll laugh it off, you know, like it's a joke. So that was on the lines of something that dude said probably like my first 2 years in, and I just nipped it in the bud right then and there. I just told him, hey, bro, I fuck with you, but I don't play the fuck games. We not gonna do none of that. We just not gonna do none of that. So he was like, bro, I respect it. You know, I ain't trying you or nothing. It's just nigga be playing like that. I'm like, yeah, that's what y'all want to do. That's perfectly fine. I personally just don't play like that because I'm not going to say I believe wholeheartedly that behind every joke is a form of seriousness, because I make jokes all the time and it ain't no seriousness in it. But it is a truth to that, but it's not truth wholeheartedly. So, but I just don't feel like that's the way I should be playing with no grown ass men that I don't know, that I just met in the prison. I don't know what you niggas locked up for. We just not gonna play games like that, buddy. Now, when people play games like that, me personally, I look at the percentage of possibility that there is seriousness behind it. And I be like, man, shit. Now, the big dude and the little dude, after they getting into it, and I just told you they had gotten into a fight. And the little dude came out sweating. He had a little scratch on his forehead. Other dude came out. He was just sweating. I think his lip was like kind of fat down here. And he was laughing. He was like, yeah, I let you do that. I let you do that with your little fine ass, with your sex ass. I let you do that. So everybody in the dorm bust out laughing like it was funny. They like, man, he's stupid, man, he crazy ass. So the little short dude, he like, yeah, whatever, nigga, gay ass nigga. That's what he saying to him. But he just was saying that because he was mad because I witnessed him with my own two eyes playing those type of games too. So he played them games, but he just was mad, so he was just talking shit. So probably about 2 days later, the little short dude had the tissue in the door, and the big dude was coming from outside. Now, when you put the tissue in the door in prison, if I'm trying to use the bathroom or I need any level of privacy, I throw some tissue and pull the door up. So the person on the outside of the door sees the tissue hanging, and he knows, do not disturb. I'm in here doing something, so don't come in there. So I was standing outside my cell, man, and I was rolling up a Bugler cigarette. I never forget this. This shit stuck with me because it was so strange to me. Matter of fact, I had just started smoking these little cigarette roll-ups called Buglers back then. And I was standing outside the door rolling it up. The dude came in the door, he walked. Once he got closer to his door, he looked, he went shaking his head. Like he caught an attitude instantly. I'm assuming because he was ready to go straight into his room. Now he can't go in because he waiting on his roommate. Him knowing I don't even play them type of games, he looked at me. He was like, hey, Bill. Now, I don't really talk to him just because he play a lot of games. And for me to avoid trouble, if I know you play like this with everybody, I'm going to stay away from you. So that way, at no point will you ever feel like playing games with me like that is okay. So he say, "Hey, Bill." I look at him. I'm like, "What's up, bro?" He said, "How long, bro, had the tissue in the door?" I'm like, "Nigga, what the fuck? I'm not no door watcher, nigga. I don't know." So I just told him, like, "Bro, I don't know. I ain't paying attention to nobody but myself." So he like, "All right, say less." So he walked up to the door, went to knocking on the door. He like, "Hey, bro, you using the bathroom?" So dude was like, "Yeah." And man, he said, "No, you ain't with your little sex ass. You in there trying to beat your little meat. It's all right. I'm going to beat it later on for you." So the dude inside the room bust out laughing. Everybody else in the dorm that heard it, that was close, bust out laughing. I just looked at him like, what the fuck? I just didn't think it was funny. I'm not knocking nobody that plays them games, that feels as if shit like that is comical. Hey man, that's your business. To me, personally, it wasn't funny. All right, so probably about 2 or 3 hours later, there was a big stabbing popped off in another dorm between 2 gangs. Now, whenever a big stabbing between a bunch of people, like 2 gangs pop off, they got to come lock the whole prison down. Because you got gang members in every dorm. So they scared that, okay, this happened over here. They going to call on the phone, tell them we just got the stabbing with such and such. So then they might start stabbing, and then it's just going to happen dorm to dorm to dorm. That's what the police feared that it happened. So they came in screaming, "Lockdown, lockdown, everybody locked down." So they locked us in the room. Whenever somebody get the stabbing, you can expect a good week. If you wasn't in the dorm it happened in, you can expect to be locked down behind your door, no coming out, for a good 7 days. If it happened in that dorm, then of course much longer than that. But throughout the course of the few days we was locked down, you know, these guys next door, they arguing, they get back cool, they in there wrestling, playing. You hear them wrestling. Big dude like to wrestle 24/7. But the little dude like to play a lot and wrestle around too. But, you know, I told you before, these folks done got to fighting already with each other. But I guess they just like, we in the room, we got to deal with each other. It is what it is. So they cool. They ain't studying. So one night I'm in there asleep, and I wake up because I hear arguing going back and forth. And I hear the little dude saying, "Man, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Get your motherfucking hands out my face. I don't give a fuck about that size. Don't let this size fool you, because you know I beat your ass." So the big dude, he wasn't really saying much of nothing, but I'm assuming he had his hands in his face or something like that, because that's what he kept saying. "Bitch ass nigga, get your hands out my face. Bitch ass nigga, get your hands out my face," type shit like that. So next thing you know, they get to fighting. Again, I didn't see it with my own 2 eyes, but I heard it. You hear scuffling from shoes. You hear smacking. Every time you hear like a nigga make a noise like he just got hit. So you hear the rumbling of the little metal locker boxes that's on the wall. So you know for a fact they in there fighting. Little dude go to screaming, "All right, bro, all right, bro. All right, stop hitting me, I'm straight. All right, stop hitting me, I'm straight." So the bigger dude like, "Nah, fuck that, nigga. You want to put your motherfucking hands on me? Fuck that." So he clearly just keeps hitting them. They in there fighting. I got up and looked out my door. I'm just trying to look. It's a little small window about that long, about that wide. It got little holes all through it. But it's a plexiglass in between it. You can't yell through the hole. Can't nobody hear you. It's just holes where you can see. Then it's a plexiglass on the other side. So the officer booth was right across from my room. So I just went and looked. It ain't no officer in there. Officer ain't nowhere to be found. So they in there fighting. Can't nobody break it up. Can't nobody help him. The big dude, way bigger than him, much heavier than him. I know he in there beating the shit out of him. A lot of people say size don't matter in a fight. Oh, long as you skilled, long as you this. I agree with that to a certain extent, but I also do believe size does matter. Because here's the thing, and then I'm going to get right back on subject. If you 5'5", 5'6", you already short as hell. Then you slim as hell, okay. Just say you can fight real good, you real skillful. And I'm 6'3", 210 pounds, swole, strong as a motherfucker. And we get to squaring up with each other. Okay. I have so much more power and pressure coming from my body. If I line that shit up the right way and just connect with you and hit you, it's going to take far less amount of power from me than it would from you trying to hit me. You see what I'm saying? You might got all the skills. You know how to square up real good as the little dude. I might be the big ass nigga, don't know how to do nothing but swing. But seeing how big I am and how much power I got behind me, I can throw one punch, hit you in your shit and knock you out. So the skills and all that you think you talk about don't matter. That's why professional fighters gotta fight people in their same weight class. Because they know this. It's a lot more power coming behind that shit. So you hear them in there tussling around. Then the small dude, he go to like making noise like, he can't really make his words out. And you hear like a little smacking sound. So I know that he's getting choked out. I know dude probably choking him out. The dude smacking his arm, trying to get off, trying to say whatever he's trying to say. So, next thing you know, the little small dude went to screaming, "Bro, what you doing? Bro, what the fuck you doing, bro? You tripping, bro? Bro, you tripping, bro?" Now, instantly, I went to thinking a knife was involved some type of way. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I said, the big dude got a knife. He done pulled out a knife. Like he threatened him. Like he finna stab him or something. And my roommate, he was on the bottom bunk. I was on the top bunk. He said, "Bill, you hear that shit?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Them niggas crazy, but them niggas stay fighting." I said, "Bro, that shit sound like bro finna stab him or something." He said, "Yeah, that shit sound crazy. I ain't studying them niggas. They always do that." He rolled over and tried to go back to sleep. I couldn't because I was just thinking like, damn, he got a knife out on him. Know he about to stab him. That's what I'm assuming going on from my room. When I heard the little dude start saying, "Bro, I ain't with that type shit. Bro, what the fuck you got going on? What type of gay ass shit you got going on?" That's when I knew it was something different going on. Then my roommate was like, "What the fuck?" My roommate jumped up, went to the vent. He hit the vent. He started calling the little dude name. I ain't gonna say their names, of course. He was like, "Bro, what the fuck going on over there, bro?" And the little dude said, "Man, this gay ass nigga done stripped butt naked, bro. This nigga over here trying to pull my pants down." And you could hear tussling and shit. So he like, "Bro, what the fuck?" So my roommate ran to the door. He went to kicking the door, beating on the door, trying to get the police attention, but wasn't no police in the booth. So the doors, under the doors was probably like that wide open. So he got down on the floor, laid his face down on the floor and started screaming, "Officer, officer." The whole time he beating on the door and screaming under the door, you hear the little dude over here screaming more and more, "Bro, what the fuck you got going on? This gay ass shit, boy, I ain't with this shit." So the whole dorm, by that point, they hear my roommate, they see what's going on. So the whole dorm go to kicking they door, screaming under the door. They trying to get the police attention, but it's not that the police isn't paying attention. There is no police officer in the booth, period. They're not to be seen nowhere. Then the little dude, man, he made a heart breaking scream, bro. I'm talking about he screamed in a way that I just feel like a grown man shouldn't scream, bro. It was a very disturbing noise. It was long, like a howl. And he screamed real loud. And yeah, my roommate went to the vent. He cussing, talking shit through the vent, talking to the bigger dude, telling him we gonna kill him when we come off lockdown. We gonna stab him up when we come off lockdown, this, and that. So the whole dorm doing that. They all screaming to him, telling him, nigga, this and this and this and that. Because that dorm, pretty much everybody fucked it with each other. You see what I'm saying? We had been in that dorm with each other for a while. So, you know, if it was a setting where the person that was happening to, ain't nobody give a fuck about them, ain't nobody give a fuck about each other, then they wouldn't have probably did all that. But it's just like, that shit was damn near like a family, bro. Everybody been around each other, fucking with each other. So the whole dorm screaming to dude talking shit. That same howling scream, that heart-wrenching, heartbreaking scream I told you I heard the first time, I heard it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And then it eventually turned to like cries. And the only noise I could hear from my room is like, you know what I'm saying? Like a bunch of like moving, hitting on shit. And I know that was from, you know, the smaller dude, I guess trying to grab hold of shit and move out the way or whatever. But man, he was in there screaming, crying. This is a grown ass man, 30-some-year-old man in there screaming and crying and screaming. It even reached the point where he started saying, please, bro, stop. Please, bro, please. Damn, that shit still fuck with me to this day, I swear, dude. So it eventually, I'm gonna probably give it like, man, that shit probably went on for 45 minutes, man. Just this dude screaming, making weird ass noises. And you don't hear nothing from the other dude, the big dude. Everybody calling his name, he ain't saying shit. Shit probably went on for like 45 minutes. And then it got quiet in there. So my roommate went to calling dude named the little dude. He wouldn't respond. We thought he killed him in that motherfucker. So probably like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, my roommate, I had a watch. I had a little G-Shock. My roommate asked me, said, Bill, what time it is? I said 2 o'clock. That shit probably had happened at around about 1, probably about an hour ago that shit happened. So he jumped up, he hit the vent, he called little dude name, no response. So around about 3 o'clock, he asked me for the time. I tell him it's 3 o'clock. He get on the vent, go to calling little dude name, no response. Now the officer bring the trays, the breakfast trays. They feed us at like 4:30 in the morning. So probably like 4:40, 4:45, we finally heard the door pop. So we both jumped up, ran to the door. My roommate was looking out the window on the door, but the window is so small, only one person at a time can look. So I jumped up and stood on the sink because this hole was at the top of the door. Like, hole's probably about that big. It's like 3 rows of them. So I jumped up at the top of the door to look over the door. You see the officer coming in with the breakfast tray. So we go to screaming, officer! We both screaming, trying to tell him, get over here, get over here. We're trying to see what's up with bruh. So by that time, the other few people that was woke or that was just waking up, they hit their door, started screaming, kicking the door, screaming out the door. And the officer was confused. She like, y'all, it's too many of y'all. So everybody got quiet. And then my roommate told her, come over here to room such and such. So she came to our room. And he stuck his face up to the door and he told her, man, I think the nigga in the room next door got raped last night. Check on him. Go check on him. And Man, she went to the door next door. When she walked over there, she walked out of our view. We couldn't see her no more. But all I heard, that lady said, "Oh my God." And she like took off running towards the door. So I said, "What the fuck?" And she was on the radio. She grabbed the radio. She was running and talking on the radio. So the police came in there deep. They all went up to the room. I heard the lieutenant telling to somebody in the room right next to me, "What the hell going on in here? What the hell you got going on in here? What the hell you got going on in here?" And I heard the big dude say, "I ain't got shit going on. I ain't got shit going on." And then I heard the lieutenant say, "Where the fuck all that blood come from? Where all that blood on that sheet come from?" And he told him, he said, "Move the cover, man. Move the cover." He was going back and forth with it for a minute. He said, "If I tell you to move the motherfucking cover again, I'm about to tase the shit out you." The lieutenant had pulled the taser off his belt, and he had told the officer, "Open that door whenever I tell you to." So I guess the big dude complied to what the lieutenant said. And, man, the lieutenant said, "What the fuck he tied up for?" But in the process of him saying, he didn't even finish the whole sentence. He was just like, "What the fuck he tied up for?" And then he stopped for a minute. He said, "Man, what the fuck?" He said, "Man, turn around, put your hand behind your back, get down on your knees, man. I'm only telling you that shit one time." So I guess the big dude wasn't complying. The lieutenant looked at one of the other officers. He said, "Go grab a camera out the booth." Because whenever they use force on a person for any reason, they got to have it recorded. Just because so many lawsuits over the years, they got to record it to show that they not doing nothing illegal. So she went and got the camera real quick. When she was coming back with the camera, he said, "So you're not going to get down on your knees and put your hands behind your back so I can come handcuff you?" And I heard the big dude scream, "Nigga, fuck you." So the lieutenant turned towards the lady that had the camera. And, he introduced himself, his rank, what prison they was at. And he said that he had an inmate refusing to follow orders and that he was about to use, what they call that shit? Force, some type of force. We about to use something force. I forgot what they call it, but basically he about to have to use force on the inmate. So the girl had to put the camera up to the door so they could see the inmate, and they had to hear the lieutenant voice giving him instructions on the camera. So he said it one more time. He said, "So you not finna cuff up, get down on your knees, put your hands behind your back." Dude said, "Fuck you" again. He said, "All right, say less." The lieutenant looked at the girl. He said, "Open the door." And man, she opened the door. All I heard was the taser go off. I heard the big dude scream, and I heard his body hit the concrete. Police ran in the room. They handcuffed him, of course. Brought him out. Man, this man came out the room butt naked in handcuffs. Handcuffs, the only thing he had on, butt naked. So it had me thinking like, damn, all the time we went without hearing the noise. You see what I'm saying? Because you was in there for a long ass time after we stopped hearing the noise, and you still butt naked. So it's like, damn, was you still in there doing that shit all night that whole time? Like, shit just weird. So, the lieutenant said, well, I seen them bring dude out butt naked. They took him straight out the door. He was looking crazy as hell too. He looked like he was a damn maniac. So the lieutenant, I heard him through the vent ask one of the girls, "Any one of y'all got a pair of scissors on y'all? Any one of y'all got a pair of scissors on y'all?" So one of the sergeants that was with him, I guess they had a pair of scissors because, they cut them or whatever. So I heard them asking the little dude, "Hey man, what happened? What happened? You all right? You all right?" And I guess he wasn't responding because one of the girls said, "Throw some water on his face." So I guess they did that, and I guess he came back to consciousness. And the lieutenant said, "Man, what happened, bro? You all right?" And man, the little dude said, "He raped me, man. He raped me. He was too big. I couldn't fight him off. He kept hitting me. Pulled a knife out on me, told me he gonna kill me if I keep screaming and shit." And we ran back to the door. My roommate looking out the door. I'm looking out the top of the door, bro. They was walking dude out the room, the little dude. And like from his butt all the way down to like his ankles, bro, was blood. It was like the shit was dripping down and had dried up. It was just going down his body. Well, it wasn't going down when I seen it. It was like pasted on there like a paste. And when he walked past our door, bro, he was just like, he ain't even look at us. He had his head down, but it was kind of like straight. And I'll never forget, I heard him say, like he was making little noises, like little groaning noises, man. That shit so fucked up. And the lieutenant took him out and the other officers came out. They had gloves on and they had like a sheet. Something looked like a damn pillowcase. And that shit had blood on it. It was red. It was stained red. And they had in the other hand, they had the strings, I guess, where he was tied up with. Now, what it was a braided sheet. Dude, the bigger dude, like, I don't know if he braided it earlier or if he been had it like that or what. But what they was doing to tie people up, they'd take a sheet. Because the sheet pretty sturdy. Them sheets they give you, them bitches ain't finna rip. They pretty sturdy. You got to really cut them. So they'd take 3 strips of the sheet, probably about that wide. Like, because I know a lot of people tie people up when they got issues with them. They want to embarrass some shit like that. So they'd take about 3 strips of the sheet that wide, make it pretty long, cut it up, braid it together. Once it's braided together, you get tied up, them bitches work like handcuffs. Ain't no coming up out of there. So it was a lot of pieces like that. So that's what he tied them up with. And that is the story about when I say I witnessed a rape in prison. Y'all, that intro that I put on there, y'all let me know in the comments if y'all want to continue see, because I made that. I was trying to put some videos in there, but I couldn't because I got an iPhone and an Android, but the iPhone is acting real crazy right now. So I'm really just working off the Android as of now. And just let me know, because I was going to keep that for future videos. But if y'all don't want to see that intro no more, just let me know. I'll take it off and try to come up with a better one or whatever the case is. But that's it for now, man. I appreciate y'all for supporting the Bill Feezy channel. I'll holler at y'all in a minute.